Good morning, everyone. This is Mary Ellen, coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your Virgo October 2017 tarot reading. I want to thank everyone who's been here with me for this first effort on live stream and all the love and support and beauty that streams from your heart in my direction. You know that song, Wind Beneath My Wings? That's how it's been feeling. So I'm very appreciative, and I thank you so much for your willingness to be patient with me while I'm learning this new skill set. The Virgo reading was done. It was actually the first reading that came out. I think because of the time frame, I was literally in Virgo, within the time frame of Virgo. And the season was starting to change, etc. And I went along to the Dowth passage tomb, and I began to just vibrationally get some. I call it chanting about Virgo, and so I spent some time at the tomb. And what you are seeing is the entryway. There are several entryways, and there are multiple tombs in this location. The most obvious mound, if you read any information about this, you'll see that it's actually bigger than Newgrange, which is shocking because it doesn't look bigger. So I'm assuming that means, I'm going to put up another scene for you. I'm assuming that's talking about the inner chambers, perhaps, and the fact that there are multiple tombs in this location. I was there for quite a while, and because I was focused on the readings and the time of day, I didn't have time to explore around and look for the other passageways. I did find several openings other than the ones that are shown in this diaspora. It's an amazing place. It is in literally a farmer's field. And when you walk through the gate, you walk in and you see the mound, and you're walking among the sheep. It's lovely in a certain way. And off in the distance, to the right, at about, I don't know, I would say 3 o'clock, if you look at this photo or this illustration, just beyond where you see the tree line indicated there, there is an ancient church that has fallen into ruin. And one of the things that I've talked about a little bit is that in many of these places, there's something about the energy. Perhaps it's a train of thought that's developing for me. And churches were built, I think, in part to try to encourage people to join the Christian faith as that was evolving its way across Europe. These structures are 5,000 years old or more, and many of the major ones, I haven't done enough research yet, so I can't say with veracity, but they are aligned with the pyramids. I encourage everyone to go to your favorite web browser and look at that. It'll astound you, the information that is there about that notion. And there are folks who are doing investigation into the DNA and the bloodlines, because when the excavation at the pyramids, which are about half the age of this Brunaboyne area where these passage tombs are, I think there are people who were laying in the tombs, in the pyramids, with red hair. Hi, Phoebe, I see that you're here. Welcome. Yes, Cappy's done, it's posted. So when this is finished, you can go watch Cappy. So, anyways, I digress. Sorry about that. Let's talk about Virgo in this place and the unfolding that happened on this very beautiful earthy day. I had a gorgeous communion with a tree that was there. I'm going to show you some pictures of the area, and then we're going to jump into the reading. Before I do that, I just want to say hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your viewing these videos and your companionship. I'm feeling it really deeply, and it does have an impact, so thank you. I'm going to go through the reading. We have just an hour today, and I'm going to do another video, I think, about live stream in general. So keep an eye out for that. All right, so let's transition into the pictures. When you approach Dowth, as I said, you walk through a gate, you just park by the side of the road. There's no parking lot, there's no public venue. It's very unassuming. And you walk through this gift to sort of climb through a gate and then walk through a turnstile into the cow field or the sheep field. And this is what you see. And as you approach the mound, it's very steep. I didn't take a picture that will indicate that, but it's fairly large. It's very steep, and you have to sort of walk around and find your entry point. So there is a place where you can climb up. Looks like this. And I don't know if those rocks were placed there because that's the easiest place to climb up to the top of the mound, which clearly many, many people do. And when you get up to the top, this is kind of how it looks. The top of the mound has been excavated, pardon me, and it is bowl-shaped. And when the excavation was taking place, it was realized at some point that this was a passage tomb, and so they stopped. So some damage has been done to this tomb. It is not open to the public. It has not been fully excavated. I don't know if there are plans for that to happen. I believe all of these sites are now under the protection, if you will, of UNESCO, which has named it a World Heritage Site. My hope is that these things will be explored in a respectful way as time goes on. So as you walk around the mound, there are curbstones. Let me show you a little picture of that. There are, I think, 150 of these large stones that circle all of the mounds that I visited, and I think generally every mound. Many of these have carvings in them. This series of curbstones has some very famous carvings, and I tried to take pictures, but they're very faint and worn, I think because just the passage of time and rain and etc. So as I was coming around the mound, this is one of the things I saw. This phenomenal tree. Look at that. It's growing right up out of the mound. And it's actually growing at a very steep angle. And the size of it is, the picture really doesn't do justice. It's huge and lovely. And on that day, it was glowing. Or perhaps I could see its aura. I don't know. But the presence of this being, clearly a spirit being, literally growing up out of the passage tomb. And what it felt to me, I spent some time, quite a bit of time there. It felt as though it was respirating, exhaling the energy of the tomb in order to benefit the external world and to keep those messages going forward. It was, as a metaphor, it was astounding to me, the giant amount of life that's coming out of this passage tomb. And so I spent a bunch of time with this tree and sat with it. The Gemini reading came out from under this tree. And as I began to commune deeper with the tree, I climbed up underneath it. And I just was lying there for quite a while, watching the leaves flutter in the wind and the golden light that was emanating from this tree. And you can almost see it. The green of the leaves, there's a golden tinge to them. And I swear to God, they glow. I've never had that kind of an experience. I spend lots of time in nature over my lifetime. I've never seen anything like that. It was truly beautiful. And it stopped me in my tracks. And I started thinking about the nature of the earth and the things that have come to pass here uh, in this place. And, the daisy chain of those thoughts brought me around to the fact that my sign, which is also Virgo, my sun sign, I was here in this place at this moment in time. And I was feeling just a lot of gratitude about the experience I was having and what it is to be married to the earth and be able to feel the earth energy and communicate with the trees and the chipmunks and all the little creatures that I have conversations with as my days go on. And so I came to rest in this place at the curbstones that are below the tree. And I just climbed up there and I sat there for a while, had a little meditation, if you will. And I thought, I'm going to do the reading. This is an incredible blessing, the energy of this place. And here, where this beautiful tree takes in the energy from the atmosphere and works its magic with it and sends it back out from this place, this is a really beautiful place to do a reading. And so the Virgo cards came out. I'm going to show you the reading, and then we'll go through the cards one at a time. All right? So there's the cards. Look at that, right below that gorgeous tree, hanging over the top of this reading, emanating that energy into the cards. And it's astounding what came out. And if you look at the top row, the last card on the spirit line is a message from that tree. Isn't it beautiful? I'm going to take just a moment and I'm going to toggle back and say hello, see who's here on the chat stream. Hi, Mary Love. Gabriella, hello. Oh, I missed you folks too. It was stressful for me to be out venturing in the world because I'm a Virgo. And I have that sense of responsibility that is always with me no matter what I do. I can't let it go. That's part of the trial and tribulation of being a Virgo, at least for me. I don't know how it is for you folks. So give me just a minute. I'm going to toggle back and I want to say hello to everyone that's here. So I just need to change screens. Let's see. Who's here? Let's see. Okay. Mary Love and Phoebe. My daughter's name is Phoebe, and she was actually traveling with me for most of this trip. So I've always loved that name. She was named after the Greek goddess of the moon. She was born on the autumn equinox at the full moon, literally on the cusp of Virgo and Libra. That's interesting. Hadn't thought about that while I was doing this reading. All right, so I'm going to toggle back and we'll dive into those cards. Okay, here we go. If you're new and you don't know, this card is the card that sits over the top of the reading. It's the first card that comes out. You know what? I'm going to turn on a light. It just started to rain here. It was nice and bright and sunny, and all of a sudden the clouds are in, it's starting to rain. Okay, that is the augury. I'm going to pull this light a little closer, of battle. This has been coming out, and a similar notion, right? So I was talking about this yesterday. I think it was Capricorn. This is the moment that you are preparing for. It's the spiritual message that Spirit wants to discuss with you. It also sort of gives light, if you will, to the reading. I'm sorry, Spirit's chattering to me in the background. That's why I'm hesitating. All right, so the moment before You put your hands on the sword. That's the moment we're in. I have to, I'm one of the things I've been telling everybody is I'm learning new muscle memory about how to hold these cards because when I hold them up and I look in the camera, everything is backwards. So apologies for that. All right. So this is a prophecy. Augury cards are prophecies. It's telling us about what is going to come to pass. I'm going to move this light. See if I can get some more light. It's gotten so dark just in like the last 3 minutes. All of a sudden it's dark out. I don't know if we're getting messages from hurricane rain or something. It rained last night in a way I haven't seen it rain here in a long time. So the augury of battle, look at the purity in this card. It looks like winter, doesn't it? Okay, now I live in the Northeast, so we actually get real winter here. It gets cold, snow, ice. And in those days of winter, when it's like that, after we come through the solstice and the light comes back, usually it takes until about the end of January. And then we get some beautiful, stunning, brilliant blue sky days. And it looks much like this. It's beautiful. So there's a shining city in the background, the beautiful clarity of the sky and the light. And this, Spirit keeps talking to me, and this is a king. I don't have it in the mythology of the card, but I understand what Spirit is trying to say. The augury of battle is the moment before you put your hands on the sword. You're being prepared. We are all being prepared. And it has a lot to do with the solstice, and I will talk about that. These moments, Spirit's saying, as we run up to the solstice, meaning, from the period after the Lionsgate portal and the eclipses, the 4 eclipses that happened this year, starting in September, once that was done, because of that energy that came through, a process began. It wasn't just about the portals. So as we move toward the solstice, something is being continued. There's a thread of energy that's being woven together now, a tapestry. And if you've been watching these readings all year since I've been here, you know that my readings build upon one upon another as the months have gone on. There is a journey that has been described for each sun sign. And people do often ask me, should I watch my rising and moon sign? And I always say, yeah, of course. If you feel led to do that, do it. There's some information waiting for you, and you'll get kind of a full rounded thread that has to do with your own development. And you'll be able to see the things that weave your energy pattern together as you prepare, along with the rest of us, to weave that into this beautiful tapestry, this cloth. Spirit's calling it a cloak. I don't have clarity on what that means yet. I think perhaps clothing. And we've been seeing a lot of images about making shoes. The King of Skill has been in many of the readings. So here, this card, this aspect, is about revelation. And that's what I was just talking about. Something is going to be revealed to us, I believe, going forward at the time of the solstice, when that opening comes, and going into 2018, there is a lot more learning and growth and development, Spirit says, that is going to occur on the spiritual level. So this woman is the woman of art. She's highly activated, and she is a clairvoyant person, and she has the ability to know the name of the future king. And so she was very sought after. It was kind of her job to name the king. She's dressed in her passion, the passion of that energy. And it pours out from her at the level of her heart chakra into a bowl so that she can share that with the people around her. And the other thing that's notable, about this card is this beautiful jewel-encrusted barrel of water. Life energy, abundance, love, prosperity. Spirit's talking about spiritual wealth and the flow It's a representation. That's what I'm getting in the moment. All that flows upon the earth. And Virgo, for us, that's the message. This is you standing under the light of that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? This card is about the future. This card is about the present. And this is how you sit, so to speak, in your place, Spirit says, in these moments. Fully abundant, filled with passion, highly activated, and able to see into your own life, into your own destiny, and able to reveal yourself as you go forward toward this moment when you put your hands on the sword of victory. That's a beautiful notion. I'm going to toggle back to the cards. Pardon me, I have to take a little sip of my tea. I've been talking so much for the last week that my voice is very hoarse. So look at the bottom line of cards. If you're not familiar, that is the human walk that is reflected in the spirit line above. This card is the augury of skill. Look at that. Okay. The augury of skill shows a depiction of a young warrior, and we know by the color of his trousers he's been transformed. He is open at the will center and the heart chakra, and around his throat he has one of those beautiful torques. Do you see the city again? Now that city is filled with the passion that you reflect in your aspect in this reading. That's no mistake. You are in the process of creating. That is what this young man is doing. So this is beautiful male energy, having been transformed. And the ability to aim true, that's what Spirit is saying. See the spiral right there? Okay, aiming true at the spiral. From the spiral, Spirit's correcting me. To send your intentions out with male-informed intensity of energy. And I love when these readings come out and Spirit so beautifully blends the male and female. So, two things coming through. That, obviously, about intuition, psychic vision, and the energy that emanates from you that is that does bring to the world, see that water? Abundance in a particular form. That is why it sits at her side. As you sit in this aspect, the strength of your ability that is going to be revealed blends with the male part of your energy in a yin-yang way. You know, somebody put a message on the thread for Capricorn, kind of freaking out about the phallic symbol at Tara. And I said, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Male energy, will, determination, regeneration, sending efforts, abilities, thoughts, and intentions out into the world in a very clear, passionate, informed way. And that is the strength with which your vision and your ability to emanate your energy onto the earth, that is the strength it has. That's a beautiful message. So let's toggle out and see the next card. Also, beautiful male energy. It's, if you look at the line, Spirit's directing me. I was going to say something and I got interrupted. Sorry. All right. So Spirit would like you to just look into that line and just breathe it in. That's what's coming through. The next card, Spirit tell me actually, uh, is something that the theme, the topic about this already sort of came through my voice. That's exactly what I was talking about. So there's the reflection, there's the yin yang of this energy that you embody as an earth sign, Virgo, in these days. And yes, this is about October. It's also about going forward. I think it's no mistake that the October readings are coming out at the very end of the month, just prior to when the November readings will come out. So there it is. That's what I was just saying. Again, do you see where this person is activated? At the heart chakra, at the will center, in that part of the physical body, sending out that type of will out into the universe with clear intention and love. That's what the pink is all about. Seeds, right? They're the pine cones. And you know, the pine cones of the pine trees, I have some giant pine trees that are standing on the far side of the meadow in front of my house. And the tops of them are loaded with pine cones. The seeds getting ready to go out on the wind in order to regenerate and bring more new life. It's a beautiful metaphor. So, in these days, while that is taking place, Spirit is wanting to have a sacred dialogue with you about all the new things that are going to occur. So, that last card on the human line is a dialogue of skill. The story behind this card, it's about Merlin, the sacred magician, the warrior. He had a lot of battles, a lot of things transpired in his life. And even though he was a magician in the time of Arthur, that's the mythology around it, he got tired and stressed. Spirit says, a little used up, and he needed some rest. And you and I would call it PTSD in these days. And the myth about this card is that he was wandering around, not able to be truly occupying himself, is what Spirit's saying in this moment. Well, you know, we would say PTSD or perhaps a little bit of mild forgetfulness, dementia, whatever. And so his good friend went and sought him out and provided him with some love and care and comfort and began to tell him, remind him about the stories of his life and all the things he had accomplished so that he could come home to himself. And so there's a message there for us, Virgo. I think about the deep spiritual nature that we hold, the type, Spirit's correcting me, the type, Spirit's saying not that it's not deep, but there's a particular type. And that's the thing that Spirit's been pushing me to speak about. So think about your particular energy set point as a Virgo, married to the earth, able to take that energy in like a tree, pull it up from the roots of your being, from in the earth, and emanate it out. That's part of the purpose that we serve as energy beings while we're here on this journey. And so there's the card. Pardon me. Merlin and his good friend. And this person was a very learned poet. And again, we see a depiction of the four seasons. And there's the little badger who's hibernating. We see a reflection of winter and summer season and fall. Fire, passion. The cycle of a human life. The cycles of the earth. And Spirit saying the cycles of our spiritual development. And Spirit wants to speak with us in these days, this autumn. And I'm sure if you've been here long enough, you've heard me say the color of the garments means a lot. So Merlin, even though he was a fairly advanced person, he was going through another spiritual regeneration and transformation from the place he was in. And, Spirit saying, Spirit is here to put its arm around us in a loving way and have this dialogue, a new dialogue about a new topic. because we are being regenerated and being made ready to go forward through this moment of this solstice that is arriving on the 21st of December. Well, I think I already said it, but I'm just going to show this. Right? In this time of the year, at least here in the Northeast of the United States, right? Some places it's summer, but I think that's the message for me so that I can understand and portray it to you. So let's toggle back and look at the bridge card, which is another, it's interesting. Spirit's talking to me about reflection. And early in my chatter, I was talking about the energy emanating from the tree, and Spirit's tying that together in the background. So while I'm being given this information, I'm going to go forward and work in the background. I'm learning to partition my brain so I can do two things at once. So let's talk about this. There we are. Okay. Like the experience of going to these passage tombs, of going to Dowth. Oh, okay. So here's what Spirit's saying. See that bowl? That's the tree. That is the purpose of that tree. Spirit says, I got it right. I figured it out. And that's part of what the glow was about. And Virgo, this is the moment we are in. This is the bridge card to the spirit adventure. So again, that man has been traveling in such a way that brings him to a complete transformation. And he's doing it because he has his passion firmly along for the journey, Spirit says, in the cloak. So this card, some people would call it the Akashic Records. Some would call it the wisdom of the ancients. Some would call it the cauldron of all wisdom. However it speaks to you, that is an appropriate message, I believe. Because you will see things in these cards that I don't see. That's part of why it's time to do the live stream. Because Spirit has been telling me now in these moments of this new quest, your ability to have this vision. Okay, got it. Your ability, Virgo, to have this type of vision has increased. And you should be trusting your intuition because it has its own intention. And as a Virgo, it's a fertile moment. That's why this is a woman sitting here, right? It could have been this. That would give us a different message. In fact, it's a woman, the namer of kings, the woman of clairvoyance, who can use her vision to see the future and to find the way forward and what leadership should be and who should be at the helm and all those things. Spirit's chattering. All those words are coming through, in a steady stream as I touch these cards. So there's a big message there for you. All right, let's see. Okay, back to this. I'm going to toggle back for a sec. Do you see where this card, look at the line and look where this card is. Beautiful male energy meeting your female energetic leadership. Do you see how you in the center, in this fertile moment, is surrounded literally by all this beautiful male energy? And, sending that forward and taking that energy to a place that allows a new quest to begin for knowledge, a new type of knowledge, going forward, standing at this place, right? The passage tombs, the place where souls literally transition. So I think I've said this in all the readings. I'm trying to remember to tell everybody. When I was in the passage tombs, part of what I experienced was what felt like some revelations that I received or had about the experience and the use of these tombs in the ancient days. And what I believe, because of the shape of the tombs and the way the altars are, the remains would be cremated and brought to the tomb, placed in one of the ceremonial bowls on one of the altars, inside the altars, as a resting place. And as the energy changed and shifted throughout the year, they were attended to and perhaps moved around the tomb until they came to the final place, the main altar, where I believe their spirits would ceremonially be blended together in order to await the solstice. Because on the solstice, when the sun comes up, those few days of the year, it is the only time that the inside of the tombs are illuminated, because the sun is aligned with the opening and sends a shaft of light all the way into the central chamber, hitting the main altar area. And I believe it's more, the light is a metaphor. The reality is something happens, and it's a moment when those souls can cross over. And I'm regretting that I didn't add some pictures to this slideshow for you. Please go and look at Spirits Asking. Please go look at some of the readings from the Null Passage Tomb. Spirit's talking to me about Taurus, okay? Because it's a fellow Earth sign. There are messages for you in that reading, and you may also want to watch the October Capricorn reading. There are messages that are woven into all three of these readings that will benefit you very greatly. So that's a message for you. Spirit's got to let me go so I can continue talking. All right, so back to the cards. So everything I just said, let's move on to the first card on the Spirit line. And again, this card has been showing up in the readings a lot. As we transition in the ways we are meant to transition, we become, in these days of preparation, this is what we're doing in the spiritual realm. We've become the king of skill in our own life. Our battles behind us in these moments. Very humble. And again, I'm so grateful to Spirit that this is male energy. But there are words coming through. Okay, I'm going to finish what I was saying and then I'll get to that. So, this is about being in a very humble place, even though there is clearly, in the depiction of this man, a lot of power. This is a very powerful physical presence, and also a very powerful, filled with intent, very serious, and Spirit's talking about Capricorn, intention to go forward. And this person has come across a long journey to this place of golden light, in which he rests and literally makes the shoes for the next part of his journey going forward. It's a beautiful story. Spirit's talking to me about the power of humility that is within the energetic set point of Virgo. And, human words relay concepts and ideas, thoughts, and pictures, Spirit says, in our minds. And that's why this card is coming out for you, Virgo. It is about this type of power. There's no lack of power. There is a shift in how the power is being used and the vision that this man has. And isn't it interesting that this card is the Virgo set point? Beautiful. Spirit's talking about the unseen type of power that emanates from Virgo as a very fertile time. And Virgo and Capricorn have been working hand in hand during these times of Pluto, and Pluto and Uranus doing a dance from inside of Virgo that affects Pluto and vice versa. And it's been going on for years. I'll try to put up a link about this. And so, from this place, on a human level, this intensely prolific form of female energy that pours out of us moves forward in this way. And Spirit's telling me the king and the queen, right? The yin and the yang. It's beautiful, isn't it? Spirit's talking about the reflection, the way they reflect each other. Do you see how powerful this moment is? The type of vision she has? Same thing, right? So, our energy is well balanced in these moments as you go forward inside of you while you are having this journey of revelation, the revelation of art, the art of spiritual living, spiritual warriorship, understanding yourself, coming into this type of energy that emanates from us out into the world, just as it did in the passage tome. It's fantastic. So toggle back, take a look at the center line. Right in the middle, the revelation of art, the art of feminine power that is supported by the intention of the sacred masculine. It's beautiful. And above the revelation of art is the woman of battle. And she stands right next to the king of skill. And the woman of battle, it's important. I'm going to show this. Okay. So look at her. All right. She is here. If I can get her into the light. Look at that. Again, Spirit's talking to me a lot in the last couple of days about vision. And so, wants you to understand what's happening inside this being by looking closely at the eyes, where the soul shines through. So she has her power firmly in her hand. She's an extremely brave person, and the winds of change blow through her hair. Virgo, all signs have been through an initiation process. That's what this shift has been about this year. This shift and change and stretching and growing and coming through trials and tribulations and challenges in order to come to this moment. That's what Spirit says. And she has on the amulet of the sacred initiate. She has been through her process, and she stands at the ready. Open. You see her hand? Okay. Open. Very similar dress. Passion and transformation. Clearly an earth goddess. Very clearly. There she stands. Did you see the mound behind her? Look at that. Virgo, there was quite a loud message coming through for you from that beautiful tree. And Spirit is again talking to me about the human form of that beautiful tree creature may look like this, standing solid in your place, looking into the future, open to what may come, and able to see with sacred vision, because that is the way you stand in that energy, having been initiated and becoming ready to take the next step. And in the mythology of this card, this woman is often the first one into the gap. She does not hesitate. She follows a sacred energy wherever it may take her. And, Spirit's talking to me about the sacred shamaness. She is not a shaman, but she has those qualities. Having been through a shamanistically led journey, she carries this energy now. And that is why they are aligned in the reading. So let me toggle back for you and give you a moment to just look at that center line, that vertical center line. It's astounding, isn't it? And so having come to this place, standing in your life in that way, with the surety of the shoes that you made as the King of Skill aspect, how you utilized that ability brought you to this next moment. And from there, you become the sacred tree. And you send your energy and your seeds and your intentions out into the world. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's gorgeous. This is about utilizing the winds of change to sow the seeds of the future. And your ability, your ability to be the spinner of growth. That's the full name of the card. It is a major arcana card. So I would like you to take note of the colors on this card: passion and transformation, purity, new life, and growth. From the place, the solid place that you have planted yourself and where your growth occurs. Isn't that beautiful? What a gorgeous metaphor. I think it's like this, actually. What an incredible metaphor. It's phenomenal. So, for me as a Virgo, thank you, right? What a wonderful message. And look at so now let's just look together at the center line. Again, a beautiful blending of male and female energy and strength and intention. And Spirit wants to talk with us, I believe, about the ways in which we understand intention and energy and sacred vision and how we share that with the world. And as we share it with the world, the way in which it affects the entire universe, the entire planet. And that's what this our outcome card speaks to. Look at that. That is a depiction of the Gunstruck Cauldron. It is a real artifact that was found in a bog. The flowers underneath it are elder flowers that are used for healing for centuries. And there's the triple goddess. And clearly, it is about the intentions of the universe, of the sacred realm, and how we are destined in the spirit realm for this mystical healing that is coming to us as a result of our journey. The Spirit's saying our passage. And, we're having this passage as living beings. And so there's a connection also, of course, obviously. Sometimes too much comes through. I can't say it all at once. So Spirit's talking about the connection between this world and that world. Meaning, as we stand here in this place, with these passage stones still with us, 5,000 and 6,000 years old, and having then generated the pyramids somehow, I don't know all the information. It'll be a fun thing to go look up. That energy is still present here on the earth. And those things help us as we go through this time of 2017 of great shift and change. So prepare yourself in these days of autumn. Revel in this energy. Let me show this card again. Enjoy that to the best of your ability. Allow yourself to just be in it, Spirit says. There's nothing you have to do except reside there to the best of your ability. And, there's some chatter coming through in the background. Spirit saying, while you're at the bank, while you're at the grocery store, while you're standing in line, whatever you're doing, in a red light in traffic, you have the capacity to just sit there like this and emanate that energy out into the world around you. And it's time. That's what Spirit's saying. So the final bit of our preparation for 2017 is this. I'll be talking about it more next month, I assume. And enjoy it, Virgo. Feel yourself. Your energy is amazing because you walk through the planet married to the earth. So ground yourself so that this energy, as you emanate it, it's stable and it comes out in a steady stream like this. See? Isn't that amazing? I'm going to toggle back to the cards so you can look at them while I take a look at the chat stream and see if there are any questions for me going forward. Give me just a moment to take a peek. Hi, Sandra. Nancy Love Bucket. What a great tagline. That is fantastic. You just watched Pisces. That was something, wasn't it? Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to see you here. And Suze, my gosh, you are so amazing. Okay, Mary Love, I'm reading your message. Okay, this is a passage from a very old book that reads Capricorn is a rock. In Virgo, it becomes pebbles and sand. In Taurus, it is soil. Each expresses something different about matter. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a wonderful metaphor. It's going to take some time to absorb that, but I like it. And those are the kind of things that trip across my brain, so to speak, while I am doing these readings and preparing. I always get some messages that come through in all these ways, And often I'm not really thinking about the reading yet, but I start to get the stream, if you will. Like the day that I was walking around the passage tomb and just became mesmerized by that tree. So it's a very similar experience that book is describing. Mary Love, do me a favor. I'll put a message on the thread below this video when it posts and let me know the name of that book and if that's the book you've been telling me about. I'd really like to check it out. So folks, it's 12:29. I am going to sign off because I'm doing my best to become disciplined so that as the live streams go forward, I can stick to a time frame for everybody's benefit. All right? And there will be more news coming about the live stream development, but I thank you for being here today. And I thank you for all the work you're doing and all the dedication that you have in your heart. And I want you to know I feel it, and so does Spirit. So have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you again, and I'll look forward to chatting with you on the thread below the video. Thanks so much.